We need to talk about what's happening in 2026 because Lego's officially decided that adults just don't need to have savings accounts. Have you noticed the sheer volume of 18 plus sets that are hitting the shelves lately? It feels like that every month there is a new monster 18 plus set revealed, and it's usually one that I feel that I need. But let's face it, that makes total sense because the adults are the ones that are driving that Lego market right now, and Lego is really leaning into that harder than ever. Now, as of today, I have a bunch of 18 plus sets sat in my wish list on the Lego website, and today I'm talking you through those 8 sets. These range from high altitude aircraft to the darker corners of Gotham. A couple of these are due for release, and some will be on the retirement watch list. One of them in my watch wish list, however, hasn't even been put onto the Lego website yet. So that's one that I'm going to be talking about as well. Let's start with the modulars. As you guys know, I'm deep into this particular collection. I've already got the Lego Jazz Club. I've got the Natural History Museum you can see behind me. I've got the Lego store built out of 2 mock smaller Lego stores. I've even got the Home Alone house and also the Ghostbusters firehouse, which is a big personal favourite building of mine, although I realise these 2 aren't true modulars. But there are 2 holes in my Lego street right now, and this is one, the Tudor Corner at 10350, and also the Botanical Garden at 21353. To me, the Tudor Corner is a masterpiece, and it's one that I was really excited about when it was originally released. It's a 3,266 piece set, retails for around £200 or $230, and it's got that classic old world charm that fits perfectly next to the museum. And it received some community criticism originally because it's a cafe, and essentially we all know it's a pub, but Lego wouldn't build a pub with alcohol in it, but we know that's what it is. Then there's the Botanical Garden. This is a big boy. This is nearly 4,000 pieces and it retails at £290, $330. Now, I just love the way that this set looks. I think it would make an awesome centerpiece in the city. The problem is that this is rumoured to retire by the end of this year. And that makes both of these sets a particular priority for me. If I wait for them to retire, I'm going to pay probably 1.5 to 2 times the amount in 2027. And that would be something I would regret missing out on. Speaking of regrets, let's talk about Batman. Now, I'm a massive fan of Batman, particularly the 1989 stuff. I've got the 89 Batmobile and the 89 Batwing. And I've even snagged the animated series Gotham Skyline before it retired last year. But I missed out on the Shadow Box, and I am massively disappointed by that. It's one that I simply overlooked, and now that goes for over £600, £700 online, and I just can't justify the price for what is essentially a big black box, even if it does look absolutely amazing, but it's probably a nightmare to build. So to complete the collection and make myself feel better about missing out on the Shadow Box, I'm targeting the Arkham Asylum, that's 76300, and it's one that I really do not want to miss out on. It's got 2,953 pieces and it comes in around £270, so around $300. And it's essentially a DC modular, although it's not quite the right shape or size, I realise that. But again, this set will be expected to retire soon, I imagine at the end of this year. Got some great characters within this set, and I also love the Prisoner Fans side build, so this is one that I'm definitely going to get my hands on sooner rather than later. Now, let's get into space themes. You guys know that I love NASA themes. I've got the Shuttle Discovery just sat behind me, as well as the Hubble telescope, and the classic Saturn V rocket just at the other side of me as well. I did have the International Space Station, but honestly, I sold it because it was so flimsy, and every time I tried to clean it or dust it, or someone came in here to clean or dust, the panels would snap off, the cat knocked it over. It just drove me completely crazy. Now, the NASA Artemis Space Launch System, this is 10341, is the one that I want next. 3,500 plus pieces, £220, $260. And this is, in my opinion, how the Saturn V should have been released. Instead of just being a giant rocket that's liable to falling over, you get the full launch pad system. Usually, if you want a launch tower that size, you're going to build a custom kit or get one from China for £300 or £400 to go with the Saturn V. But this time, Lego has finally given us the all-in-one display, and I think that's a brilliant move, and it's one that I want on the space display set behind me. Now, as well as all things space, I also love aviation, and Lego's first real dive into the 18 plus aviation sets was with the buildable and displayable Concorde set. I was lucky enough to have seen Concorde up close when I was growing up because I'm that old, as well as flying over the house where I grew up. But strangely, I wasn't originally sold on this set just because it looks like a giant wing. But then Lego revealed the Douglas DC-3 Pan Am Airliner 11378, nearly a 2,000 piece set, £200, $220, and it looks incredible. The shaping of this set, the nose is much better than what we've seen recently, and seeing the Concorde and these two displayed together, that would be awesome. Now, in the world of space meets aviation, I'm also looking at the Lego Shuttle Space Shuttle Carrier Aircraft, the 747, that's 10360, and it's a 2,417 piece set for £200 or $230. I'll be honest, I still have issues with how that nose looks on that set. I did a video about the image leaks last year, and you'll see it still looks a bit off to me compared to the sleekness of the DC-3. But as a completionist who loves 747s and also NASA, I'll probably end up getting it, let's face it. Maybe in the future they'll make a better 747, but for now it completes the NASA shelf, unless I start looking into retired sets like the Space Shuttle Expedition. Lastly, I missed out on the old Maersk container vessel from a few years ago, and now that's another £500 set or plus on the aftermarket. And Lego recently revived their license with Maersk and released the new dual fuel vessel. The new Maersk dual fuel vessel 40955 has 1,516 pieces for a much more reasonable £140 or $150, although it's received criticism compared to the original, but I just couldn't justify the price of the old set, and it is only ever so slightly bigger. Now, that's my complete wish list up until 2 weeks ago, and that was until Lego announced another 18 plus set, and that is the Lego Jurassic Park 18 plus Jeep. I have to be honest that this is something that I've been willing Lego to make since they released the miniature version of these previously in the Dilophosaurus ambush. So it's my own fault for willing this one into existence, you could argue. This is going to be set 77984. It's going to come with an exclusive, looks like Dennis Nedry minifig and the option of building slightly different versions of this set to complete those seen in the original movie, so Jeep 12, Jeep 10. But this is an absolute must buy for me, and it must probably even be a day one purchase, which doesn't happen very often. The question is, though, how long will it be until Lego releases a Ford Explorer tourer vehicle to sit alongside it? I'd hoped for the second 18 plus set for the Jurassic Park kind of lineup this year would be this set, but it looks like we're just getting another skeleton to go alongside the T-Rex. I'm slightly disappointed by that, but also slightly pleased. So the strategy then for 2026 going forward is going to be the Botanical Garden, Arkham Asylum, Artemis, and Tudor Corner, because these looks like must-buys as they're going to retire and jump up in price. The planes might have to wait for some double VIP event to come around, but the Jurassic Park Jeep is going to be a day one purchase for me now that I know it's on its way. So let's see what happens. So what are you guys going to be targeting this year? Are you feeling the adult set overload too, like I am? Let me know in the comments below, what are you excited for? What have you put into your wish list? Hit that like button if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you again in the next one. Keep watching.